Welcome back to the Resilient Rainer podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Burnett. Today, I am sharing one of the most important mindset shifts and perspectives that you have to adopt if you want to be successful. And this is also one of the hardest to fully absorb, implement, and integrate. But it is well worth the payoff.
Welcome to the Resilient Rainer, the premier podcast focused on mental performance for equestrians and improved horse show performance. Whether you're a rookie reiner or a seasoned competitor, this show is for riders who want to take their skills to the next level and achieve their full potential in the show ring. I'm Nicole Burnett, and I'm a master mindset coach who's obsessed with helping you achieve all those horse dreams you always thought were impossible. Join me each week to develop a show-ready mindset and gain the competitive edge you need to compete with confidence.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Resilient Rainer podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Burnett, and I knew I had to talk about this today because I literally was just telling my husband about this, and he goes, "You should do a podcast on that." And I thought, you know what? You are absolutely right, because this is such a great example of mental performance in action and something that is a foundational part of my philosophy and that I absolutely believe in. Now, what I'm talking about today is one of the mindset shifts that is core to who I am. And I believe that anybody who wants to be successful, both as a rider and in life, needs to adopt this mindset. Now, there are some things that are just truly foundational for me. Gratitude is a huge one. I am also huge on radical responsibility. And this is one that most people may not have heard of, because there's a good chance that if you've been around the block for a minute, you've probably maybe heard of gratitude, you've heard of taking radical responsibility, but have you heard of this? And this is radical acceptance. Let me paint the picture for you. So today, this showed up in my business because I was onboarding new clients today, supporting existing clients, and also recording for the upcoming on-demand version of Mental Gym for Equestrians. I am so excited for this. I have been delivering live the Mental Gym for Equestrians to riders for a couple years now, and it has been phenomenal. This has helped so many riders, and this is truly my own unique framework, my own unique approach that has been born out of blood, sweat, and tears. And I am so excited to be able to offer this in an on-demand format. So if you are at all interested, check out mentalgymforequestrians.com. The first modules are dropping on August 1st, and there is a pre-launch special going on right now, and the price will go up on August 1st. But I am so excited for this. It has just been a dream to be able to offer this in this new way and support and help even more riders. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is where we dive deep into nervous system regulation and using my unique 4R framework. So we have regulate, you learn how to regulate yourself, rewire to rewire your brain, reclaim, and reinforce. And we get you riding like a pro because you've got to be calm, steady. You have to be able to reach that place in your physical body and be emotionally neutral in order to ride your best. And I'm going to set that aside. I'm just so excited about Mental Gym now, because literally you need to be able to ride emotionally neutral and you need to be physically regulated. Like if you ever go to a show or you just go to the arena and all of a sudden your palms are sweaty and your heart is racing and you're just riding like crap, that's your nervous system kicking in to keep you safe. And it can be on your side or against you. So I teach riders how to handle that inside MGE. It's really fun. Anyway, where were we? Radical acceptance. So anyway, I'm recording this. And one of the things that I wanted to do for this version is I always want to do the best that I can do. And I wanted this time to use more visual aids. And so in order to do that, I had to I thought I was going to use a certain software. And I got started, got all set up, and I went, oh my gosh, this is absolutely not going to work. This is not the standard that I want to hold myself to. It's not good enough. And I went, oh my gosh, I need to find something else. And so I had to go find something else. And I cannot believe where technology is at. And it's looking so much better. I'm really excited. I found something that's going to work really well. And this way I have some support for people who like visual anchors in their learning. And I'm really excited for that. So there's other things in that. Like I really care about how I teach. There are a lot of people who teach who aren't necessarily great teachers. And I care a lot about how I structure things, what order I present them to my writers, even things like, oh, okay, the brain processes information visually better if the image is on the left and then your text is to the right. So in my video lessons, you'll notice that I'm on the left and then the text is on the other side because there's literally scientific research on how brains process information that says that's the best. And I care about putting together a quality experience. Anyway, this took a bunch of time. So I'm doing that, also checking in with my clients and onboarding somebody new. And all of a sudden, it's later in the day. And I really thought I was going to be further along with my recording than I was. It's at this moment, I'm thinking, okay, here we are. And I can be really upset about how I'm hours behind where I wanted to be, where I thought I would be. What am I going to do? And spend a lot of energy being upset. Or I can just say, hey, this is where we're at right now. Right now, this is how it exists. We don't have to judge it. We don't have to say it's good or bad. But right now, I have a good software option and I can record from this point forward. Basically, this is my point of agency, is this moment right here, right now. And that is radical acceptance. Not, you don't have to accept it. Or I guess, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. You don't have to approve of it or add moral judgment. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it just is. And this is so empowering because it really zaps a lot of emotional energy out in a very helpful and productive way. And I find this all the time with my horses in the sense that, let me give you some examples. So let's take the classic of you want to go on a trail ride. And you've been looking forward to this trail ride all week. And then it finally comes around and you unload and your horse is just jiggy and a mess and is spooking at the air like a dumb face and you're really frustrated. Well, obviously this is not conducive to the most relaxing trail ride. But what are you going to do? Are you going to fight it? Are you just going to swear at your horse? Are you going to just be upset? Or are you just going to say, oh, right now, my horse has extra energy. My horse is not focusing. Right now, my horse needs me to do something different. It just is. Your horse is jigging. What are you going to do? You get to make choices in that moment. Do you want to get off and hand walk them? Do you want to lunge them first? Do you want to, whatever you want to do, you do have options. It may not have been your first option, obviously, but What are you going to do in that moment? And it just changes everything when you just have radical acceptance. Or here's another one. Horses get injured. I do not care for this personally, but they do. So let's say your horse gets injured. And then what do? Do you spend your time and energy saying, oh my gosh, if only I hadn't, had to not ride for 8 months because my horse got injured and blah, blah, blah. And you just get all riled up. And then you might not even ride because you're all upset and you got yourself in a tizzy. Does anybody say tizzy anymore? I say tizzy all the time. Don't get in a tizzy. Or do you just say, it just is. My horse was injured. Right now, what do I want to do? Do I want to do groundwork? Do I want to do extra fitness for myself? Do I want to work with Nicole and get my mind game on point? But in that moment, your agency is for yourself in the present moment. You don't have agency over your horse. You don't have agency a month ago. You don't even have agency in the future. You have agency right here, right now, is your point of power. And it is so freeing when you can just approach things with the radical acceptance. And like I said, you don't have to approve of things. Let's say somebody is being a jerk to you. As a parent, sometimes my kids have a rough day and, have some inappropriate behaviors because they're kids, right? Or at the horse show, somebody just is being a gossipy, whatever. Okay, it doesn't approve of their behavior, but what do you do about it? You can just say, oh, that just is. They said that, they did that. And then you're in charge of your behavior. Yeah. So, okay, it just is. Yesterday, my kids didn't want to do their chores. Okay, I hear that you don't want to do your chores. I still need you to unload the dishes. I still need you to take out the trash. That's your job. And it makes life so much nicer when you can practice this radical acceptance because we're making things emotionally neutral. We add in all these layers of, oh, this is good, this is bad. Let me newsflash, everything has good and bad. Literally everything has layers of good and bad. And you create so much resistance when you're focused on all these feelings and shoulds. And honestly, it's entitlement. It's entitlement to, I should have figured this out sooner. Entitlement that this should have gone a different way. Entitlement of, I just wanted it different. I wanted my horse to learn, to spin faster, quicker. All right. I didn't want this to take 3 months. I wanted it to take 1 month. I wanted my horse to get legged up in 30 days and not have it be, 6 months to get him properly in fitness and condition. There's a little bit of entitlement in there. And I get it. I'm human. I totally get it. But why are you fighting things when they are? Sometimes things just are. And absolutely, I'm trying to really thread the needle here because you do have agency. Absolutely. And your point of agency is right here, right now. Do you long trot your horse or not to build their fitness? Do you practice your lead departures or not? But sometimes things just are. Sometimes you have, motorcycles driving by your arena. And so you thought you were going to work on one thing today, and instead you're working on not losing your mind, for example. It just is. There are things that are within your control and things that aren't. And it's really not worth worrying about it if it's not your thing. So please let me know if this is making sense to you. I'm really trying to express this idea that you have agency and absolutely have your agency and take constructive action right here in the now, because that is your point of power, not yesterday, not this morning, not tonight, but right here, right now. And at the same time, you're going to be so much more satisfied and honestly get so much more done and not be so upset when you practice radical acceptance. So I hope that you are able to practice radical acceptance once this week. I would love for you to please take this and just in the next week, find one place when you can practice radical acceptance. And if it's out of the saddle, that's great. If it's with your horse, that's great. That can be, let's do even a few more examples, right? So let's say you go to get your horse and you bring him in and you're all excited to work on your circles today. But instead, your horse does something different. You're going to try and work on circles, and then you ask them to pick up the lope and they're just on the wrong lead. And you're going, what the heck? So you got to have a little refresher on your leads. It happens. Or you go out and you're like, okay, we're going to practice some transitions, right? This is really what I want to work on. I want to tune up these transitions. That's the goal for today. And then you go there and there's like 10 other folks riding and your horse is completely discombobulated and distracted by all these other ponies. And so instead of working on transitions, you work on just listening, right? So maybe you even still do transitions to bring their focus back to you. But the focus is, hey, I'm your rider and we're going to be focused together. And so just that radical acceptance of, all right, how can we adapt? And, oh, my brain is telling me, here's like another example. So, for example, a lot of people get real focused on their horse's face, right? Like, is the nose in the air? Is it not? You know, especially in any sort of performance discipline. Well, okay, let me figure out how to say this. When I'm loping along, if I'm working on steering my horse, I want to be able to just pick up the reins and go left, straight line, right, straight line, left, straight line. The focus is stay between my reins and just go. Take some accountability here, pony, and don't be wiggling, wobbling. And that nose kind of goes all over. The important thing is their shoulders. Are their shoulders where I want them to go? Are they straight? Are they square? Are they lift? If they lift in the back, their head's going to end up where it needs to go anyway. So it's kind of like just accept radical acceptance of the face because it's a distraction. We're focused on other things and that'll take care of itself. That's a little bit of a sideways example, but it comes up in all these ways. So anyway, to wrap it all up, radical acceptance is really the theme of the day. And it can be hard because this came up because I was saying, oh my gosh, if my true priority is I really need to record this MGE course content, what do I do about the podcast? And then my husband had this idea to record this. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go down and just talk about that. Sometimes I'll admit one of the things I catch myself is I'll do all or nothing thinking and be like, it has to all be perfect and all well thought out instead of just, oh, wait, this is a great example of what mental performance looks like in action. And it's applying in the business as a coach. And I see it all the time in my writing. Yeah. So this is coming up. And this is the kind of stuff I teach my clients and I teach inside Mental Gym for Equestrians because this is what gets you riding like a pro, is making these mental shifts and just letting it be emotionally neutral so that you can make the best decision for your horse and yourself. You're like, okay, this is what my horse needs today. And you just do that instead of being all hung up on what you wish it was instead. Well, thanks so much for being here. I love chatting with you and hanging out and getting in this nitty gritty of mental performance and how we can ride better because if you're here, you know that what's tripping you up is not figuring out what diagonal you're on. It's all this stuff in between your ears. So thank you so much for being here. And again, come check out Mental Gym for Equestrians. I cannot wait to see you inside.